We're at Halfway House in this busy week of Gaelic Games activity, and today we're at Croke Park for more top-class action. Now, yesterday we saw the lineups for the All-Ireland Football Championship semi-finals completed, and this afternoon the same process for the Hurling Championship begins. In action today, the Munster champions Tipperary against a side that decided to do a U-turn in attitude towards the destination of this year's Liam McCarthy Cup. It's 10 years since Tipperary landed the Liam McCarthy. Is Nicky English the man to guide the Premier County to All-Ireland glory this season? In Munster, they beat off the challenge of Clare and Limerick to set up a semi-final meeting with Wexford, a team they beat at this stage 4 years ago. It's been a season of mixed fortunes for Wexford hurlers, hammered in the Leinster final by Kilkenny and then producing a dramatic win over Limerick 2 weeks ago. They were dancing at the crossroads in '96 when Martin Storey led them to All-Ireland glory. But can the purple and gold light up Croke Park with another powerful performance? It's also a big day for the miners of Galway as they put their All-Ireland crown on the line against Tipperary. Yeah, that's our big match this afternoon. Throw-in is at 3:30 now. Before that, of course, we have the minor semi-final between Galway and Tipperary. The throw-in there is at 2 o'clock. Now, looking ahead to those games with me are Tomás McCahey and Pete Finnerty. Gentlemen, you're very welcome indeed. Tomás, who's going to win this senior game?
I fancy Tipperary to win it, Michael, but in most people's eyes I suppose Tipperary are fancy today, but if you look back on the Wexford, they're probably holding the advantage. They had a game here a fortnight ago. They came out trups in a fantastic game, and the advantage with them on that basis is that they have proven experience in Croke Park. Tip haven't played a competitive match now since the Munster final, but overall the balance of the team, I think it will shade it for Tipperary. I think their forwards are better on this occasion and they will shade it in the end.
Pete, let's look at this minor match. The Galway team have been out for a while. They've just been joined by Tipperary now. And of course this Galway team in potentially a unique situation, and some of the players indeed.
Yeah, they're going for 3 All-Ireland titles in a row. I know they have to win today and win the final if they get there, but Ger Farrer is going for 3 All-Ireland medals, and nobody else has done that except for the great Jimmy Dial, and I'm sure the Tipperary young lads out there won't want anyone to emulate that. So it'll be a good game. Tipperary won Munster title that everybody expected the Cork team would win, because that was a very fancy Cork side at the beginning of the year. They held them to 1-6 in the Munster final, so they're tight marking and they're hard hitting. There's a few fine hurlers down the middle as well, and they're strong. Galway are coming unknown into the game, and you bring young lads to Croke Park, they can do it in Athenry, but when you put them out here in the big stadium in a different environment, they mightn't always do it. But we'll know after half an hour how it's going.
Gentlemen, thank you for the moment. Now, Tipperary have been short odds to at least reach this year's All-Ireland final in the senior since the start of the summer. Now, Wexford, by contrast, well, they hardly looked like likely candidates the day they took on Kilkenny in the Leinster final. Since then, however, they've bounced back in style, and their tails will surely be up today.
Well, I think after our Leinster final performance, we needed a big game with a lot of lost pride to restore. There's a lot at stake in it, really, because, you know, with the new backdoor system, you have a chance of getting to an All-Ireland semi-final. So it meant a lot to Wexford. It meant a lot to the players, because, as I said, we had a chance to redeem ourselves, and you know, we had a great start, and you know, we took it from there.
Angling this one across here towards Mitch Jordan, starting here on the left-hand side against Steve McDonough. Dangerous ball in there, and the goal! It's Rory McCarthy.
There's massive belief in this county. You know, we've 16 or so senior teams here, and they're all, we'd say, about 10 pretty much same standards. You know, any of us can win it at this stage. Like, but after the minor and the senior defeats, everyone, you know, there's a bit of doubt in people's minds. But myself and my young comrades, we showed the Wednesday night after the Leinster final defeat that, you know, there is plenty of hurling in Wexford still, like, and I think the county's just blossomed and blossomed since the 21 victory. And as I said, we're just looking forward to the match later on today now against Tip, you know.
Tipperary is probably, you know, rated as one of the great Tipperary teams, and justifiably so. I know that they're very glad to have drawn Wexford, and hopefully that might work to our advantage today, and you know, we might surprise them. Limerick were probably very happy to draw us too, so that's fine. You know, the results of late indicate that Tip should be very happy and Nicky should be very happy. Hopefully we might just try to spoil the party today.
It's been 8 years, I suppose, since Tipperary have won a Munster title. We had huge expectations of us going into the championship this year, and
thankfully we got a bit of luck against Clare and against Limerick that brought us through, you know. So hopefully we'll be able to hurl a bit freer now in Croke Park, that the expectation of Munster title is gone.
I think the momentum is certainly with Wexford. They came back and redeemed themselves after their Leinster final performance, which wasn't that bad in itself. And now the momentum is with them. They're very used to playing in Croke Park, which I think was a big factor for us last year. We didn't play very well in Croke Park. We seemed to be overawed by the occasion and this, the whole atmosphere of the thing. And the style of hurling, I think, is slightly different than that played in Munster. I think in Munster, there's a lot of rush out onto Páirc Uí Chaoimh, jump the barrier and 50-50 have at it after that. And certainly in latter years, that style of hurling doesn't seem to have worked in Croke Park, where you have the Kilkennys and the Offaly's and the Wexfords who are much more comfortable with the surroundings and certainly playing a much more comfortable style of hurling, and they're much more aware of what's going on and much cooler, and they seem to have the upper hand.
So Wexford won in All-Ireland not so long ago, and Offaly showed it the same, and when you go out in Croke Park, anything can happen over the 70 minutes. I'm sure Wexford will be pretty confident of beating us on Sunday. We'll be hoping. It's going to be tough. It's almost like a home venue for Wexford, and it's something slightly new for us to be in an All-Ireland semi-final, but hopefully we'll do our best and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, right now we're going to take a commercial break. We're back very soon with the minor All-Ireland semi-final between Galway and Tipperary. Inspired Tipperary to 2 All-Ireland titles with his performance against Antrim, one of his greatest moments. Now manager of his beloved county, English has already guided Tipperary to National League honours and of course this year's Munster hurling crown. In the opposite corner this afternoon is Tony Dempsey, a man who has brought Wexford hurling from the brink of despair to within 70 minutes of an All-Ireland final. Wexford's victory in the quarter-finals over Limerick saw Dempsey's side make it through to the semi-final stage for the first time in 4 years. Yes, you're welcome back again. Both teams now out on the field at Croke Park, and that's the big question, I suppose, to Tomás Mulcahy. Wexford are 70 minutes away from the final, but can they reach that final?
They certainly have a very good chance today, Michael. Jarlath now mentioned earlier that the elements maybe don't favour Tipperary on the basis of it being slippery and there's slight forwards. I take the opposite view. It's time for Tipperary now to stand up. I mean, the elements are the same for Wexford as they are for Tipperary. You've got to play on the day. It's about the 70 minutes that are coming up at this stage, and we'll see how good the Tipperary forwards are going to be, because they're going to come up against a Wexford team that are physically very, very strong. They're hard hitting, they're fair hurlers, and they're not going to give up the goals very easily today. On the balance of play, I would expect the likes of Owen Kelly, Declan Ryan, Lark Corbin inside in the full forward line to trouble that Wexford full back line, and Declan Ryan has proved in the past he's the man for the big occasion. Today, I suppose, is the battle of all battles against the man that was my man of the match the last day against Limerick in Darragh Ryan, the full back for Wexford. He's a tremendous hurler, big, strong around the square and a commanding figure, and if Tipperary to win, I think they need to Declan Ryan to win this battle and maybe to score 1 or 2 goals in the balance to actually sway it their way.
And the last thoughts from Pete Finnerty on this one?
Yeah, I agree with most what Tomás said there. Tipperary have the better hurlers, but what will really determine the game for me, I think, is how well Tipperary start. If Tipperary start this game and they come out all guns blazing and they put Wexford under pressure. Limerick never put Wexford under pressure. Kilkenny did, and once they were under pressure they made silly mistakes, they weren't able to take their scores. Now Tipperary have to settle early. If they settle early, get a good run at the game, they'll worry Wexford all the way to the end. But if Wexford are in with 10 minutes to go, you'd be kind of say, well, maybe Leinster hurling could swing another surprise.
All right, gentlemen, well, there's Darragh Ryan, the Wexford fullback and captain. Leg well strapped up, but he had a fine game here the last day against Limerick, and I'm sure that all Wexford will be hoping that he can repeat that kind of performance again today. A man who really grew in stature during that quarter-final match. Okay, that's the views of the panel. It's time for us now to hand over to our match commentator for the afternoon, Ger Canning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon once again, Michael. Yes, there's a big crowd, but as we've been observing since the start of the transmission, damp and dank afternoon here in Dublin. Big occasion for both managers. Here's Tony Dempsey. We saw Nicky English as well. And Tony has decided, by the way, that Martin Storey will be the number 24. So let's take our customary check then on the two teams. Once again, today Wexford start with a third of their team being under 21. It's a gamble which Tony Dempsey and his backroom team took a fortnight ago, and it worked a treat. Goal hero Damien Fitzhenry is once again between the posts, fronted by captain Darragh Ryan. The vacancy left at wing-back goes to Declan Ruth. Adrian Fenlon and Trevor Kelly are picked in midfield, while up front Nicky Lambert and Larry Murphy have been given centre-half and full-forward positions, but a switch is surely on the card. Cyril, that's a change you'd expect.
Yeah, the last like Larry plays much better outside, and Lambert is a big, strong fella. Ger, I wonder what's wrong with Darragh Ryan, because like he's heavily strapped. His right knee is heavily strapped. It must have happened in training, and he seems to be all right, but like it's above and below the knee, and it's not the best way to go into a game as such. The conditions down there are very slippy, and the cogs have a big bearing on this, because you know both minor teams were flying around the place early on, and once they got into it, they settled down in it.
Well, the Munster champions have had weeks of inactivity, but they'll be itching to get back into the All-Ireland final for the first time since 1997. Brendan Cummins is one of three tip players who started in that particular final against Clare. Today he's fronted by Philip Marr, while John Carroll is once again selected at number 5, having been substituted against Limerick. The AA other in midfield turns out to be Paul Kelly. Brian O'Mara has been the most prolific of the half-forwards, while Declan Ryan has two current under-21s for company in the inside forward line, Owen Kelly and Lar Corbett. Two young talented players. And this is Brendan Cummins here, rated by so many people the best goalkeeper in the business. Interesting there, the number 1 of Wexford, Damien Fitzhenry, their leading goal scorer. Well, you can see he's got short sleeves, but when Pat Murphy, one of the officials, looked at the gear last night at home, he discovered there were long sleeves and Damien wanted short ones. So Pat's good wife had to get out the scissors, the needle and thread, and now we've got two very nice short sleeves. Well, we can confirm that Tony Dempsey kept the injury about Darragh Ryan a very well-kept secret. It was a leg injury which he sustained in training during the past week. And even going up for the toss, which Wexford won here, and they will play from left to right, he didn't walk that terribly freely.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Well, the strap, Gerard, would kind of tighten you up as well, you know. And to be very interesting today, the two corner forwards for Owen Kelly and Lar Corbett for Tip are being marked by two under-21s as well, David O'Connor and Rory Mallon for Wexford. So they're all under-21, these four guys. They'll have a big bearing on the game, because if the Tip forwards get enough of ball, they are capable of tearing the defence to shreds.
There's been speculation as well today, I can tell you, that Tipperary are about to make several positional switches. Let's wait until the game gets underway and see what Nicky has hatched. So a huge occasion for both teams now. Wexford playing from left to right, and there is a little breeze into their faces for the first half. Indeed, if you look at the national flag, it's a lot fresher than that. There in the centre is Martin Storey, of course. Brought back in for a training match, A versus B. Great speculation during the week. There were denials that he was going to participate, but he's here. The referee this afternoon is Pat O'Connor from Mahon in County Limerick. Limerick themselves will feel that they should have been here, but they couldn't get the better of a very gallant Wexford team 2 weeks ago. Well, no parade. Teams are going back into position. Although in the case of Tipperary, I wouldn't be quite surprised at all if they decided to huddle and keep their plans under wraps until the very last minute. You've done it yourself, Cyril.
That's right, Gerard. It's the thing that we kind of brought together, kind of in unity of purpose. Today, Gerard, there is a feeling that if Tip don't win today, they really need to win today, because this team is together for 3 or 4 years as such. They're there long enough to put their name on the All-Ireland, whereas Wexford are kind of coming again. They've blended the old with the young, and they're having a great season so far. I'd say better than any Wexford person expected at the start of the season. But there is that feeling in Tip like that this is their year. If they don't do it this year, you know, it'll take a lot of years again to come.
40, maybe a little more, 1,000 people here at Croke Park this afternoon. Thankfully the rain has eased. And straight away you can see Eddie Enright has gone to midfield. In there alongside Tommy Dunn. John Carroll has gone up onto the 40. Switches in the half-back line as well. Paul Kelly has gone to left half-back. Eamon Corcoran has gone across to right half-back. And Nicky Lambert and Larry Murphy from Wexford have also switched. No great surprise there.
It's like musical chairs, but the biggest switch of all has to be John Carroll, gone right up centre forward. You predicted this, Ger. You must have been below on Thurles during the week.
Well, you have to do a little bit of homework.
Nicky didn't keep that one too quiet.
So Pat O'Connor ready to start this Guinness All-Ireland hurling semi-final. A bit of jostling in midfield, but the action gets underway. And straight away here, it's Adrian Fenlon sending it in dangerously. Broken back down here. Stamp was trying to come onto it. Tricky early moments here for the Tipperary backs, but that is Paul Kelly getting in a sweeping clearance. Oh, that's a hefty foul. It was right into the middle there, and not too much doubt about it. Not a side-to-side charge, as the rule book now says. And there's Larry O'Gorman at the end of that from John Carroll. And John Carroll spoken to by the referee instantly. And we're going to have the first card in this game inside the opening minute. It's yellow.
It's going to set the tempo of the game, Ger, as such, but that won't affect Larry O'Gorman at all. In actual fact, it'll probably rile him to give more. Even at the start, Adrian Fenlon has to win the first 3 balls that came around him.
This is Paul Codd who's come out to hit this one, and that's beautifully done over the bar. A good start by Paul Codd. They're very happy, and Paul Codd has made it 1 point to no score. Well, that's a goal now, and 18 points that he's scored in this year's championship. Down towards John Carroll this one comes, and where he's on Liam Dunn, runs all the way through to the goalkeeper. Damien Fitzhenry, the hero the last day. David Kennedy catching it well. Trying to link up here on this near side with Brian O'Mara. Instead it's Codd once again. This is going well away to the left. And a badly missed opportunity. Well, there are some spaces, as you can see, behind the goal and way up in the upper tiers of the Cusack stand. Down where the action is happening, Darrow Ryan gets some display at fullback last day out. Today he's up against Declan Ryan. So Ryan versus Ryan. Enright was trying to collect that one. Instead, it's Declan Ruth. Darren Stamp. Also there, Rory McCarthy. Back in by Tommy Dunn. Keeper has to come. Secure goalkeeping. He's a very level-headed, very cool goalkeeper, Fitzhenry. Here's Paul Codd. Well, they were hoping to make the better start. That's back out this time by Eamon Corcoran. Corcoran operating at right half-back, wearing 7. Missed there by Fenlon. Corbett was in there, so too was Mark O'Leary. Played back out here. O'Mara finding Eddie Enright and shooting this one high, but he's shot it wide. So Wexford remain in front.
At the moment, Ger, the Tipperary full forward, and I said Nicky won't be too happy. They're miles away from the goal, and a few balls has gone in already to Damien Fitzhenry, completely on his own. They want to lie in a lot nearer because they will not upset him that way.
Tony Dempsey there, assisted by Ger Cush and Davy Morris. That's Kennedy getting the stick to that one. Larry Murphy, this time deemed to have fouled Tommy Dunn. Tommy, who is Tipperary's captain, he's already led them to 2 league titles and a Munster championship, but this is the one they want to win, the All-Ireland title itself. Corcoran from J.K. Brackens. It's a huge one, but again, it's gone to the right. Well, some misses. 2 wide so far by Tipperary, and a number of their efforts dropping short. They'd have looked to have blitzed this Wexford defence in the early minutes. It hasn't happened. Kennedy going at it there, but losing it. And here comes Trevor Kelly. Midfielder for Wexford. Tip get it away. It's Tommy Dunn once again, chased after there by Trevor Kelly. Picked up here by Mark O'Leary. O'Mara is in there contesting, but there's a couple of Wexford players against him. Promising move here. Nicky Lambert struggling to pick the ball up in the greasy surface here this afternoon. It could be quite treacherous. Actually, two big matches already played here this weekend. That's beautifully caught there. Lar Corbett setting off once again. Taken back, however, by David O'Connor, known as Doc. Eddie Enright. O'Connor once again taking the sting out of that one. Now Liam Dunn. Broken down here by Paul Kelly, operating at left half back against Stamp. Here's Codd. An angle shot. Back there to help out is Tomas Costello. And that will end up being a line ball for Wexford.
Lara Corbett would be disappointed there, Ger, because it caught a great ball, went right through it and actually wound up slipping. Did nothing actually with it as such. Dangerous though going through.
The county's meeting of the championship for the first time since 1997.
Ger, you should find today now as well, with the ground being a bit soft, that there'll be great line balls taken. There's Liam Corbett getting torpedoed. You'll find that most line ball cutters will be thereabouts there, because it will be a nice cut underneath the ball. It won't be too hard.
They wait inside, and it'll be Adrian Fenlon who will strike it. Not too sure if he wanted a replacement Slitter over there. Having a word with the linesman across on that far side. That's Ger Devlin from Armagh. Well, if he wants a particular type of Slitter, I'm not quite sure what the referee is deciding where that issue is concerned.
Yeah, but Ger, this guy is well capable from here.
That's a beauty. That's magnificent, but it's gone left. But he caught it superbly. Shake of the head, and the fans waiting for the real fireworks to happen. 7 minutes gone, and Tipperary yet to score, and only 1 point in it. John Carroll scooping it forward one-handed towards Owen Kelly this time. Loses his way. Takes it up once again, tries to take on Rory Mallon. Declan Ryan inside to Brian O'Mara, and that's finally over the bar for Tipperary. And it is Brian O'Mara from Mullinahone who gets their first point. Over 7 minutes of play gone.
Good score, Ger. A lot of close passing. It broke down to look terrible, but they fed one another just here. A little lot just coming up. Little hand passes back to Declan Ryan, out to O'Mara, and bang over the bar.
Eddie Enright, that's a good catch. Swiftly away off his left-hand side towards Lar Corbett against David O'Connor, taking on the number 2. Great balance, great control, great shot, fine save. First goal chance, out by O'Connor, who was almost being cleaned out that time by the pace of Lar Corbett. Tommy Dunn, a frontal charge, and it's going to be a free to Tipperary. Referee having words with Rory McCarthy, also noting his number.
Twice now, Ger. Lara Corbett's gone right through the defence, looking very dangerous at times.
This was a great run through here. You could see that the number 2 of Wexford was physically stumbling, trying to keep pace with this man. But the goalkeeper, Brendan Cummins, produced a or rather Damien Fitzhenry produced a great save.
Fantastic save, Ger.
Owen Kelly, the taker of this free, 65 metres out indeed, and he's put it to the left this time. It was a big distance out, he had the wind behind him.
Yeah, Ger, he'd be expecting to score that. David O'Connor, right cornerback, will have to get the grips with Corbett, because twice he's got right through. No scores come off it, but like, you know, you're living, you can't expect to finish your block bullets like that the whole time.
Fitzhenry trying to vary the direction of his puck out, this time towards Larry Murphy. Comes back down, however. Tommy Dunn opting to kick it inside into the inside forward line, who are still very far out from goal. Brian O'Mara has already scored in this game. Outside here to Declan Ryan. And Ryan, steady as you like, pops it over the bar. Showing all his experience down the years there. And he's put Tipperary in front by 2 points to 1. A player who made his championship debut back in 1988. And this was lovely work.
Sure, if Wexford give too much time to the tip forwards on the ball, they'll definitely throw it around and make scores. Wexford will have to get in among them and try to upset them.
This is, after certainly putting a smile on the selectors there of Tipperary, Nick, of course, alongside Ken Hogan and Jack Bergen. Good trio, insofar as you have an ex-goalkeeper, former back and a former forward. All involved. Rory Mallon. Up towards Larry Murphy this time. Kennedy again getting the better of that. Comes back to Kelly. Partly blocked, but he still gets enough on it. Nicky Lambert using his physique. It falls back down there and it's put over the bar in the end by Mitch Jordan. His first chance, his first point, and the teams are level. It's started to swing into action nicely now, with plenty of incident in front of both goals, and the physique there of Nicky Lambert important in gaining possession for Mitch Jordan. Fine catch. Ruth. Edwin Fenlon stepping away from danger. Lobbed into space. One back there by Paul Ormond. Trevor Kelly holding on to it. One of 5 under-21s in this Wexford team, but he throws it to himself, and the foul results in a free to Tipperary.
Yeah, he actually handled it 3 times, just unfortunate because he had plenty of time on the ball.
A bit of fun and games down there involving Lark Corbett and David O'Connor, his marker. It's a huge one in, but again it goes past the post. No danger to Damien Fitzhenry.
Darragh Ryan got stuck into Declan Ryan, both will grab another. That suits a full-back, let the ball go.
All the long-range frees being taken by Eamon Corcoran for Tipperary, their number 7. Fitzhenry's puck out. They'll come across towards Rory McCarthy. Stalemate. Linesman is adamant. The line ball will be to the Slaney-siders.
There's another chance for Adrian Fenlon here.
Well, he caught the last one well. That's the 45-metre line. Inside towards Lambert this time it goes. Danger. Paul Codd trying to get it up onto his stick. Well blocked down. Good play by Paul Ormond. Assisting him here is Eamon Corcoran. They get it out to Tommy Dunn. Lambert there. And Mitch Jordan. And the referee decides that the Tipperary player didn't get up fast enough, but it's going to be a free in for Wexford.
At the moment, there are 2 Tipperary men down, I think.
Well, one of them was Tommy Dunn, being attended to there by the team doctor, who was Jerry O'Sullivan.
Yeah, the bench won't be too happy with that, because Tommy Dunn was actually on the ground. There was very little he could do with the ball down on top of him.
They've also got another player down injured. And the other player is Paul Ormond. This is what happened again here. There were 2 players more or less down on top of Tommy Dunn that time. He sustained an injury. And a strike in the arm here has resulted in the other player requiring attention. As I say, that's Paul Ormond from Lockmore Castellini.
Get it down again, come on!
So Ormond goes back onto the goal line there, going to lend his assistance. And it'll be Paul Codd, 1 point from 1 shot so far from a free. Codd from Rathnewer wallops it high up into the sky, but significantly between the posts, and he's got a 2nd point. And it is 3 points to 2.
Yeah, Jaron, so far, you know, it's very competitive. It's very low scoring, and it's going to be a dogfight.
That's the way it's shaping up, all right. Brendan Cummins. Oh, that's a huge puck out. Liam Dunn was under that one, just got the better of his duel there with John Carroll. And in the end, it requires Eddie Enright to come forward, to strike it smartly, and to put it over the bar. His first point. And remember, he's playing in midfield this afternoon alongside Tommy Dunn.
Yeah, he likes it, Jerry. He likes it because he's plenty of pace and he's getting a lot of ball.
That was Carroll. He got a vital little touch to that one. Down here, towards Enright. And he struck it smartly. Kelly and Enright having quite a battle at midfield. Dangerous pull. That's Brian O'Mara. Not too pleased with the referee's judgment in that instance. Well, there were two players coming across there, and down went Larry Murphy.
Yeah, the ref was right. It was a frontal charge. So far, John Carroll on Liam Dunn. All he's doing so far, Jerry, is just flipping the ball through, just shifting it 10 yards, 20 yards. He doesn't mind, he's just moving it on.
Well, of course, a totally different style of centre half forward from Eddie Enright. Would be inclined to move this way and that way and pull the centre half out of position. Codd was slipping on the ground as he hits this one, but he got him well.
Slip or no slip, Jerry, puts him over the bar.
That's 3 points now for Paul Codd. He's been excellent from frees, and he's made it 4 points to 3. Lovely striking action. Slipping as he made contact with the sliotar from 65 metres out. Back come Tipperary. Dunn once more. A real live wire, Tommy Dunn. Low inside this time towards Corbett. Good wrist work by O'Connor to just get it out. Owen Kelly. And a very awkward angle, but a very fine point by young Owen Kelly. Teams now level for the 4th time. Tommy Dunn, a low ball across here, carried on by Corbett, outside to the man waiting for it and anticipating, and that was Owen Kelly.
Good score, Ger. Tipperary forwards aren't getting much ball, but any chance to get their scoring it.
And Tony Dempsey appreciates the danger presented by those 6 Tipperary forwards. They can all get scores. Even John Carroll has gone up to join them. He was an all-star last year, had a very, very good year. Fenelon getting it forward here to Larry Murphy, anticipating support, getting it. Here comes Larry O'Gorman against the other number 7, who is Eamon Corcoran. Tip win it back. Eddie Enright way down towards Kelly once more. Rory Mallon is his marker on the ground. It's difficult and it's tough to link up with a colleague, but he's done it successfully. Here's Eddie Enright spotting a player in support. Good work in here. That's Carroll feeding it ahead towards Declan Ryan. In for a goal perhaps. The entire backline converging on him. And the referee has blown his whistle and is giving the free out to Wexford. And Declan Ryan protesting, saying that he had no way whatsoever of getting up off the ball. But good work here by the backs. The first shoulder charge coming in, and then the goalkeeper was out as well, being very protective.
But Ger, how he can say that it's a free out against Declan Ryan. So far, like any 50-50 is going with it. That's unreal, because like there's nothing he could have done. Maybe a throw-in, but not definitely. He didn't foul anything.
Well, the Tipperary fans certainly don't like the decision. Damien Fitzhenry taking this free. Huge one up towards Codd. Breaks out here once again towards Paul Kelly. Back towards Trevor Kelly. Again, there's a pile up here. Belted away at the end by Paul Ormond. Ger Harrington is the linesman on this near side. Well, this is quite an intriguing battle, isn't it, between this fullback Darragh Ryan, who's now 28 years of age, hasn't made many championship appearances. This is just his 6th.
Yeah, the fantastic game they lasted, Ger.
He sure had, but Declan Ryan is today playing in his 37th championship match.
What the game really needs, Ger, at the moment is a goal, just to open up and liven up a small bit.
We get a penalty when we had a bit of action. Oof, that was Mark O'Leary. No question that time. The referee wants to look at the number there of Darren Stamp. So his name has been noted. A little ticking. Paul Kelly, who was an injury doubt all week. You can see the left leg having the support strapping. Darragh Ryan coming up for this one, he's missed it. David O'Connor trying to get it out, and in the end there was plenty of danger about, but no finishing touch. He's a big man, John Carroll.
Yeah, Nick will be happy enough with him. He's breaking a lot of balls through. Liam Dunn isn't dominant as such, but yet, like, Wexford is, you know, their level, and they'll be happy enough.
You can see the man in the middle there, who is Davy Morris, just having a word or two with his fellow selectors. Here's Rory McCarthy. Has played midfield, has played in the corner as well, and probably scored the best goal in the championship so far, just here 2 weeks ago. Lark Orbit can't hold it. Darragh Ryan comes out. Here's the fullback. David Kennedy, very stylish centre half back. Brian O'Mara. Liam Dunn judging this one well. Good sense of anticipation. Beyond Paul Codd this time. Runs on towards Mitch Jordan. Has support outside, doesn't need it. Hits it himself and he puts it over the bar. That's another one for Mitch Jordan.
Great score, Jerry. Be very happy because Liam Dunn mopped up that ball. Loose kind of a clearance of the Tipperary defence. Read it well. Dunn drive forward and give a lovely little flick through.
Well, his man, Jamal Costello, having some problems early on here. Gave a bit of space there, as you can see, to Mitch Jordan, and that was just enough. Brian O'Mara from the puck out. Comes back towards Trevor Kelly for Wexford. Paul Ormond. Good anticipation once again. Having to kick because he knew he was probably going to be hooped. Great catch by Liam Dunn. Angling this one across towards Rory McCarthy. Featuring Gorey. Forward come Tipperary to Tommy Dunn. John Carroll's shot has got the range, got the accuracy, and he's put it over the bar. That'll do his confidence an awful lot of good.
It will, Jerry. He'll be happy with that because Liam Dunn is after just mopping up 2 or 3 balls.
He looks fiercely determined. So 5-all. Great hand pass by Dunn, but there was very slack marking. Rory Mallon was late arriving. But Liam Dunn, of course, is John Carroll's marker today. That's whipped back in by Paul Kelly for Tipperary. His brother, Owen Kelly. Hand pass back towards Mark O'Leary. And the defensive cover was slow in arriving, and he had enough time to put it over the bar. It's his first of the day.
Yeah, Jeremy, it's Tipperary just pushing into the lead by a point. Definitely when they get room, they're able to throw the ball around and make scores. They look lovely on the ball. But Wexford are making it as hard as they can and kind of up with the tempo.
The lead changing hands now for the 3rd time. An intriguing clash at 6-5. Larry Murphy swinging around. Paul Kelly blocked down well by Rory McCarthy. Tip of a chance to get away, however, and it's Eddie Enright with a ground stroke intended for Owen Kelly. Coming out was Rory Mallon. He was fouled, and it's a free for Wexford.
Yeah, Jerry and John Carroll want to be very careful because he put a foot across there. He's already yellow carded. Another one. Off we go.
Yes, he has to be very, very careful. It'll be Liam Dunn who will take this free. 23 minutes gone. It's a big one in towards Nicky Lambert. Dropped short. Brendan Cummins. Always very cool under pressure. Towards Mark O'Leary. Adrian Fenlon's over there, but so too was Darren Stamp. They all appeal for it. Wiseman, I think, isn't quite sure. May well throw this ball in between 2.
That last free there by Liam Dunn, Jerry, he designed to hit it in high, trying to use the strength of Lambert and the height underneath the high ball.
It breaks away. Here comes Paul Ormond, supported by Tommy Dunn. Challenges coming in. That was Darren Stamp, who's drifted across to the left-hand side. Referee giving the free Tipperary's way. So it's going to be Paul Kelly to take this one. It's a very, very long one in towards Declan Ryan. ready to cause havoc. A great save by Damien Fitzhenry. What a great shot, what a great save. Applause all around. Eddie Enright picking this one up, and he has got the free in for Tipperary, fouled by Darren Stamp. But another really good goal chance presenting itself to Tipperary. It was Declan Ryan belting it in, and a fine save by Fitzhenry, who can't have known much about it.
Yeah, but that's two great saves he's made, and he's keeping Wexford in the game. He's blocked two certain goals to Tipperary.
Well, he's having another superb game, Damien Fitzhenry.
And what's the bet, Jerry, if Wexford get a 21, that he won't come up and smash into the back of the net?
Well, 2 goals the last day, and 2 goals as well in 1996 in the championship, when Wexford last won the Liam McCarthy Cup. Nicely taken, and it's over the bar. Owen Kelly, that's his second point, and Tip have a 2-point advantage.
That's a very good free, Jerry, because it's a long way out. It's the best part of 65 yards out there from an angle.
Well, Wexford may have gone in here as the underdogs, and Tip have had their long layoff since the Munster final win against Limerick. But they were the favourites. Didn't start all that terribly well. Got their first score after 7 minutes. Now have an advantage. Adrian Fenlon. Well caught by Eddie Enright, then he lets it drop down. All very greasy this afternoon. Nice pick up here by Darren Stamp. And Stamp has put it to the left. And it's a third wide now for Wexford.
So far, Jerry, Eddie Enright is having a very big influence on the game. He's getting a lot of play out there on midfield and picking up a lot of loose ball. And you're probably going to find Wexford, at the moment, to put out Rory McCarthy, or they're probably going to send out either Rory McCarthy or Darren Stamp to mark him.
And just to speak, I think it's Darren Stamp who's going to be sent out there. Pressure again. Owen Kelly trying to go by Mallon's cover. Back out towards Declan Ryan. And the wily Fox has missed on this occasion. Look of resignation on his face, but he's leading the attack well there. Not allowing Darragh Ryan come out and make those wonderful clearances that he was doing the last day. Once again, there's assistance back there, the figure of Paul Ormond. That's a great catch. Once again, it is David O'Connor. It's a huge one in towards Vicky Lambert. Gets the hand to it. Kelly's arriving there in support. And it'll be a sideline ball to Wexford.
Wexford could do with a score, Jerry, such they've gone about 8 to 10 minutes there without a score. They'll probably try here again. Adrian Fenlon suits a right-handed cover from here.
This was a great catch here just moments ago, made by David O'Connor.
Yeah, Jerry, he'll go for this one.
Well within his range. Oh, he's missed it badly. Completely mishit it. And Eddie Enright gets it away to a totally unmarked player, who's his captain, Tommy Dunn. Shooting it in past Lark Corbett. Declan Ryan taking on Darragh Ryan, and the referee has whistled, decided there was a foul there, and it's going to be a free in for Tipperary.
Yeah, Adrian Fenlon that time was within 2 minds. He didn't know whether to go to pass the line ball or go for it, and he got caught between the two things, and tips ended up a lovely ball. Jersey pulled there, and Declan Ryan definite free.
Well, where Wexford might have had a point themselves at the other end, to have cut it to just a point. This is where Tip can stretch it even more. And they do. Owen Kelly. 2 from frees, 1 from play, and it's 8 points to 5. And he's converted 2 frees now out of 3 taken so far. Good scoring rate. Fitzhenry's puck out here. Everybody going for it. But it's Eamon Corcoran who takes it. Down towards Declan Ryan. Can't hold on. It's David O'Connor back there to assist his captain. Oh, there was a push in the back that time. Referee didn't see it. It's by Rory McCarthy. Play continues. They get it out as far as Paul Codd. And Codd gives it everything he's got. But he hasn't got direction. I think Rory McCarthy got away with that one.
Just pushed it, the ball came down there, such an idiot, right? Definite free. They got away with it.
Brendan Cummins today playing in his 21st ever championship match. all the way down towards John Carroll. That's what he's there for, to try and win these knockouts and negative the influence of this man here, number 6, Liam Dunn. To Dara Ryan, hampered by the training injury. Corcoran drops it. Ormond's in to help. Codd's about as well for Wexford. Paul Codd trying to barge his way through and doing so illegally. Free to Tip.
At the moment, Joe, the Tipperary half-backmen are beginning to get on top. Kennedy and Corcoran and Paul Kelly, they're all very sweet holders and begin to mop up. It's very hard to get the ball through on them. Once they get a second chance at all at it, they'll usually get it.
Well, Wexford have not scored now for nearly 10 minutes. Paul Codd, I think, is having to go off because of the blood substitution. He's got a blood injury, so there will be a fresh player in, at least for a short while, and that'll be Ger Coleman. Stephen Bowe, the doctor. Well, they're debating as to who's going to come on. It's going to be Jerry Laffin, they've decided, I think, instead. Yes, it is Gary Laffin, rather.
Yeah, Jerry, he'll be no stranger in there, and he'll cause a lot of trouble in his own way. He's a big, strong man, very accurate.
Programme has him down for the second time in a row here as Jerry, but it is Gary. Brendan Cummins. Big one. Dropping in there dangerously. Oh, and it's belted into the back of the net.
That's a fantastic score, Jerry.
Carroll has got it.
Off the ground, nothing he can do about that. Once the defence didn't get underneath the high ball, it came high ball in, it actually came down on the ground, and John Carroll met it into the roof of the net.
Consternation in the Wexford defence, but Carroll was in decisively after 31 minutes of this match to get the game's first goal. Finally, Damien Fitzhenry is beaten, having made 2 wonder saves earlier on, but there was no denying Tip this time. Tommy Dunn charging through. That's a great little bit of wrist work there by Darren Stamp, just to hold up the point of the attack. And 2 Tipperary players go for the same ball, and Gary Laffin is in. Hand passing inside to Rory McCarthy. He's got support inside if he needs it. He tries to link up across there with Nicky Lambert. Couldn't get it to him, and Tipperary get it away. Frantic stuff at either end here in Croke Park in this first Guinness hurling semi-final. Brian O'Mara, hands and knees job. Declan Roots after him, but the man winning possession is Larry O'Gorman. Firing it forward towards Trevor Kelly. Here's Eddie Enright covering an awful lot of ground. They get it back here as far as Mitch Jordan, and Mitch Jordan has put it wide. The cheers are from the Tipperary fans. It's the 5th wide for Wexford in this first half, and still another 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, Jordan needed a score there after that goal. Wexford badly needed a score. The tempo has come into, the impetus has gone Tip's way as such, and Enright is picking up a lot of ball around midfield, and John Carroll will be very happy with that fantastic score.
Wexford have not now scored since the 20th minute. Paul Codd is ready to come back into the action. Meanwhile, another man with a white helmet here is Declan Root. Towards Gary Laffin. Tip, stand firm, but not firm enough. Here's Laffin, wanting to make an impact, even if it's only on for a minute or two. Paul Codd still out of the action. Eddie Enright trying to drag possession away here from Darren Stamp. And the referee decides it's a free downfield to Tipperary. Eamon Corcoran has spent the last 5 or 6 minutes now across at left back, and Paul Kelly's gone to the other flank. Well, they're waiting to bring Paul Codd back in. They're also thinking of a second change, I think. And we think that Ger Coleman could be coming in here. Trevor Kelly is the one who is making way. Paul Codd wants to come back in as well. Gary Lappin wants to go off. But these are the changes. Paul Ormond, rather. Opportunities here. Mark O'Leary coming in. Stopped this time by Damien Fitzhenry. 2 extra minutes will be played at the end of the 35, so we've got another 3 still to go. Here's Rory Mallon. Quality possession. Now can they provide a quality pass? Back again it comes here to Paul Kelly. Once they settle down, Tip had looked the more impressive. That's another fine effort there by Mark O'Leary. A second point now for Mark. Tipperary finishing the half very, very strongly indeed. And it's 1-9 now to 5 points. That was Tipperary's 19th scoring chance. Wexford have had 10, and O'Mara's bagged 2 points. Or rather, O'Leary has bagged 2 points. Here comes Eamon Corcoran. It's a great run. What's he going to do at the end of it, however? Trying to link up with somebody. Lar Corbett. Stinging shot there, saved by Damien Fitzhenry. Towards Rory McCarthy this time, but it's won well by Eddie Enright. Eddie operating with great effect in midfield. Again, Eamon Corcoran having stayed forward, but this time it's a pretty poor effort. He'll be disappointed.
Yeah, Nicky will be disappointed with young Corbett as well. Like, he should be tapping in balls over the bar. Like, you know, you're not going to score that easy on Damien Fitzhenry. But the revelation of the first half has to be Eddie Enright in midfield.
He's covering an awful lot of ground as well and giving headaches here to this man, Tony Dempsey. David Kennedy, very decisive, aided and abetted over there by Tommy Dunn. Played through by O'Mara. John Carroll, the goal scorer, thundering forward. They're all after him. The entire Wexford full-back line trying to stop this man, and it's saved by Fitzhenry. Taken out to Liam Dunn. And a collective sigh of relief, because a second goal on the call of half-time for Tipperary might well have spelt the end of Wexford's challenge. Paul Codd has lost the stick. Stamp came in swiftly. That's Philip Marr there, getting it back. Tipperary's full-back. 2 against 1. Wexford there in numbers. Fenlon dropping it in towards Nicky Lambert. If he had made the catch there, he could have been in. And it's gone off somebody among the Tipperary's defenders. It'll be a 65, but this was the save just moments ago here from John Carroll. Once again getting a scent of goal.
That's 3 times now, Jared, that Damien Fitzhenry has saved Wexford from 3 certain goals.
Well, he's been their hero. Paul Codd. It's one they really, really did need. It's half-time here. Tipperary will go in much the more satisfied. Paul Codd disappointed. He did score 3 points from frees. They need an awful lot more, because only 2 of the Wexford forwards have scored. The goal by John Carroll came after 31 minutes, and at half-time here at Croke Park, this is the situation. Tipperary 1-9, Wexford 5 points. Wexford having an awful lot to do. And the management now at half-time, well, those words will be vital. What more switches can they make? They've already made 1 change. They had to take Paul Codd off at one stage as well. So let's go down now and get some comment on that first half. Let's join Darragh Maloney.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Ger. Martin Story, that goal towards the end for Tipperary, a bit of a blow for you.
It was, I mean, because, it was going fairly even, Stephen, there. Tip started to get the upper hand in the last, say, 10 minutes. That goal is after putting a little bit of a downer on the performance. But, I mean, now it's time to just dig in and keep working and try and pull it back, like, you know.
You're tugged out. You can see the jersey underneath the tracksuit. Are you coming on?
I'm not picking the team or anything.
All right, Mark. Johnny Lahey of Tipperary's here as well. You must be happy with the first half. A slow start, but you're in the groove now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the goal just there from John Carroll, you know, it was what we needed. The game, I think the conditions are sleepy out there, and it was hard for for both teams to get going, but, you know, Tips seem to finish the better now, and hopefully we can continue it in the second half.
Johnny, thanks for your time. Thank you.
Yes, so Wexford certainly have to pick it up here, but at half-time, that's the gap. It's 1-9 to 5 points.
But this is the real test. Fitzhenry hits it. Goal for the culture of Wexford.
Glory days for Wexford in 1996. They need something like that again today, surely, if they were to reach another All-Ireland final. In trouble at half-time against Tipperary. Now, here's our email address. If you have any thoughts on today's games, and if you want them expressed later on tonight on our Sunday game programme, gea@rte.ie is our email address, and you can also find us on the website there at the bottom of the page, www.rte.ie/GAA. Now at half-time in this All-Ireland hurling semi-final, a look at the statistics from the first half. Tipperary leading 1 goal and 9 points to Wexford's 5 points. Wexford have had 5 frees to Tipperary's 9. They have had 6 wides against Tipperary's 7, and there has been just 1 yellow card issued early on, of course, in the first half, that against John Carroll of Tipperary. Watching this match with me, Tomás McCahey and Pete Finnerty. Tomás, you have to say Tip are playing well. They're well in control of the match. There's an uphill struggle, as I said, for Wexford now.
Yeah, Tipperary set the tempo very quickly when they placed John Carroll centre forward, and he made his mark on the game, and he certainly led me believe that Tip were up for the match with his first challenge there. I think it was on Trevor Kelly, you know, and it certainly showed me that Tip were up for the game. They knew they were going to get the physical battle from Wexford in the first 10 minutes, and they were able to match it. And the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they controlled the game. Their first touch is absolutely fantastic. But the 3 people for me that are outstanding in that first half period, there's been Eddie Enright in the centre of the park with Thomas Dunn. They've controlled the game. Sure. They've dictated the possession that's gone into their forward line, and with the half-back line of David Kennedy, Eamon Cochran and Paul Kenny, they've been outstanding as well. Wexford haven't got into the game in their half-forward line. Inside in their full forward line, they look threatening enough when they got possession, but if you don't have a half-forward line that's going to get the ball inside or in midfield, you're going to struggle for possession throughout the game. It shows that Tipperary have 5 of their forwards have scored. Lark Harbour is the only man. He has had plenty of opportunities to put the ball over the bar, and he could be on the score sheet as well. On the other side, Wexford are 2 points from play, 3 points from frees. That certainly isn't good enough. They'll have to buck up certainly in the second half, and you just wonder where the scores are going to come from in the second half period. John
Carroll has made his mark on one of the Wexford players. He's also made his mark on the back of the Wexford net, Pete Finnerty.
Yeah, I was dubious enough when I saw John Carroll going centre forward. I said, here we go back to Paul Shelley, back at full forward that Tipperary had for the last few years. Big, strong man. But he has kept Liam Dunn very quiet at centre half back. And here we see a long ball from Brendan Cummins from a free. He breaks around the edge of the square, and on the edge of the square as well, Declan Ryan is having the measure of Dara Ryan, who seems to be carrying a leg. But the ball bounces, and Carroll does exactly what you do in a half-back line. You just pull and hope it goes anywhere out of defence. But this time it's dead on line in the back of the net. Great strike, great goal. Damien Fitzhenry, that goal was Cummins, because Damien had saved their bacon on 2 previous occasions from Lara Corbett and from Declan Ryan. Wexford aren't going well. Their half-back line are struggling. Liam Dunn has struck 1 ball in the game. I don't think Larry Gorman has hit a ball at all. And as Tomas says, the inside forward line looks dangerous, but they've no half-forward line. Eddie Enright is cleaning up. He's come back into the half-back line. He's clearing ball. David Kennedy has the marking of Larry Murphy, and Tip have the game well in control in that diamond in the middle of the field. And unless Wexford break them there, they're going to struggle big time in the second half.
All right, gentlemen. Well, there's going to be some hard talking in the dressing room. There's no question about that at half-time. Let's go to another commercial break. We'll pick up in the second half after that.
By Brian O'Mara, back towards Declan Ryan again. Knew he was going to be hooked. 2 men after him. Back to Conor Gleeson, the Garda based here in Dublin, and just at the edge of the square, it's gone in! John Lahey has got it again!
The last time they met in the championship in 1997, it was Tip's day then. Will it be Tip's day today? Well, at the moment, the young players of the future, perhaps, are leaving the field here at Croke Park. These are the school children from around the country playing in the colours of Tip and Wexford, involved in the senior match, of course. But as I said, young players from all over the country, and they are part of the INTO GEA Mini Sevens competition. However, back to the senior game here. And as I said, at half-time, Wexford leading 1-9 to 5 points. And Tomás McCahey, except for Damien Fitzhenry, Wexford might have been further behind.
Yes, I mean, the last 2 or 3 weeks we've known him for scoring goals. This time I suppose his main responsibility as a goalkeeper is to stop them, and he's kept Wexford in the game certainly. I mean, he's had a tremendous first half, and when the ball breaks to Declan Ryan, and it's a first time shot, great reaction save. Okay, spills out in front, and his full back is there to clean up, but it's a fantastic stop, and he's had a fantastic save, a fantastic season altogether, and just one of those many saves that he's made out throughout the year. Here we see a long ball again coming in from Paul Kelly, and he reacts again to make a fantastic save just before half-time. Certainly keeps Wexford within the striking distance. Maybe they're 7 or 8 points down, but at that stage, if another goal had gone in for Tipperary, you could say the game was as good as over at that stage.
Looking at the forwards on both sides, Pete Finnerty, 5 of Tip's 6 forwards have scored at this stage, and really on the other side, well, Paul Codd obviously has got a few points from frees particularly. Mitch Jordan is the only one early on who looked lively, and he's also now been bottled out of it simply because he hasn't got the supply.
He hasn't got supply and he hasn't got support either. One player won't win an All-Ireland semi-final for you. And Mitch Jordan is playing extremely well, and he looks livelier today than he has all championship. You will see a ball break into him. He has a little look up, shortens the grip and taps it over the bar. But Larry Murphy hasn't been in the game. Darren Stamp hasn't been seen. Rory McCarthy. And unless they start breaking Tipperary in the half-back line, they're not going to get the ball into the full forward line. In fairness to Nicky Lambert, he's causing problems for Phil Maher in front of the goals, and he's holding the ball there. But unless the half-back line as well, because your half-back line supplies your full forward line. And if your half-back line isn't winning ball and clearing it all the way down, you're not going to get supply into the forward line. Wexford need an early few scorers now. If Tipperary get a run on them again and get 2 or 3 more points, this game will be out of reach by 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, there's no question about that at all. Adrian Fenlon just gone through your shot there coming out for the second half. The one thing, Pete, that, or Tomas I should say, that Wexford don't need is to concede an early score, particularly a goal now.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of pride at stake from now at this stage, and you'd hope they'd take the game to Tipperary now from the start in the second half, and not to concede any scores, maybe to tap over 1 or 2 points themselves, just to bring the gap down a small bit more and give them the comfort that they can really take the match to Tipperary. But it's looking anonymous at this stage. If Tipperary keep the foot on the pedal they have at the closing stages of that first half, it's hard to see Tipperary being beaten at this stage.
So far from what we've seen of Tip, Pete, they're living up to the promise that they had at the beginning of this season as being championship, well, one of the championship favourites, I suppose, behind Kilkenny anyway.
They have, yeah, and this Tipperary team has promised a lot through the last few years now. Okay, they've been jigging and twisting the team trying to get it right, but John Carroll going to centre forward today has worked a treat. He's opened up the entire forward line. They're all moving well. Every one of them except for Lara Corbett has scored, and he had plenty of opportunities to be tapping them over the bar rather than going for goals in the first minute of an All-Ireland semi-final. This is a good Tipperary side, and to be honest, like, people say I'm not a big fan of Tipperary, but they deserve their day in the limelight too. Tommy Dunn has played a lot of hurling, he's won no All-Ireland medal, like, and Phil Maher the same way. Those guys deserve a crack at the title as well.
I mean, it's hard to, like, Wexford haven't put it up to Tip Pete properly in an All-Ireland semi-final as they should have, you know, and I mean, it's hard to read into Tipperary. They're good at the moment, you know.
Well, they're ready to go over the second half. Gentlemen, let's go back again to Ger Canning.
Yes, 1 or 2 interesting changes made by Wexford. You can see that Larry O'Gorman has gone into midfield. Darren Stamp has gone to Larry's old position, left half back, and they have Ger Coleman now on the 40. Larry Murphy has drifted across to the wing. So we'll just have to see how these changes materialise and whether or not they're of any great influence. Wexford haven't scored for the last 18 minutes of the first half. Adrian Fenlon now, but they're still only a goal and 4 points behind. Good ball forward here. Rory McCarthy has popped into the top of the right position. David Kennedy denying him. Line ball to Wexford. Very steady and assured centre half back is David Kennedy. Well, Brendan Cummins is certainly poised there. Big tall man. Fenlon once again going to take this one, but this is a really, really hard angle.
Yeah, Joe, he just swing it across in front of the square and hopes something comes out of it.
They could do it a goal. He's given the possession inside. Pressure on the tip backs. Pressure still there. Paul Codd. Philip Marr got his stick to it very significantly. Larry Murphy trying to turn inside, looking for some assistance. Fed back there by Coleman. And away by Kennedy for Tipperary. Up towards Mark O'Leary. 2 points in the first half. Wexford with only 2 points from play and only 2 scorers. Dara Ryan looking to lift and inspire his colleagues. Well taken by David Kennedy once again. Out it comes to Paul Kelly. Pressure on David O'Connor. Again another fine catch by O'Connor. Opted to kick it towards Larry O'Gorman, but Eddie Enright's had a magnificent match. Declan Ryan steadies it, slows the game down when he has to, always gives himself an extra second, even if he has put this one wide. Tips first wide of the second half, and they're 8th in all. Very thoughtful manager is Tony Dempsey. Fitzhenry's puck out. Way down the centre, Eddie Enright getting his stick to it. Close there was Tommy Dunn. Fenlon dragging it forward. Kennedy again going back, marshalling his defence, getting his body in the way, fouled by Adrian Fenlon. Free to Tipperary. Well, we often say, sir, when a team is winning handsomely heading towards half-time, the last thing they want at that stage is a break.
Yeah, and like Tipper so much on top just the last 10 minutes. The break came just at the right time, really, probably for Wexford. But Wexford needs scores, because if Tip get another point or two, like, it just makes it that much harder.
Pressure on David O'Connor here. Pressure exerted by Lar Corbett. Had a few chances in the first half. This is his first of the second, and he's got a point, and it's his first of the day.
Yeah, he needed that, sure, because I'd say they were even thinking maybe like he's not scoring and he's not, but David O'Connor was coming into the game. He needed that score to set them down, and he wouldn't be taken off by Nicky.
Well, it now means that Lar Corbett here is one of, let me say, 7 different scorers for Tipperary. Who had 2 goal chances as well. John Carroll this time hitting it straight at David O'Connor. Tomas Costello coming out for Tipperary, trying to link up with Tommy Dunn, doing so successfully. Enright driving it forward. Owen Kelly breaks it for Ryan. Declan Ryan back to the man who's running through. Good support play by Mark O'Leary. Dara Ryan just getting his stick in there, stemming the tide momentarily. And Tipperary had a loose man inside, and that's very good play by David O'Connor. Not a good clearance, however, but Declan Ryan was free, completely unmarked, as Tip were building that last attack. John Carroll has put this one well to the right. A goal and a point so far, his tally.
That was a great interception that time, Gerald, by the Wexford back, because back got through the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was David O'Connor who made the intervention. Pressure now on the Tipperary half-back line. Fenlon coming through from midfield. Tommy Dunn has lost the stick. Wexford needing scores. They'll have to settle for a 65 instead, and that is their second. Well, Paul Codd inevitably will come out to hit the 65. Breeze has eased a little bit, whatever light breeze was there in the first half. Well, he put his first 65 wide. They need a score badly. Paul Codd can provide it, and he does. Four points from frees now for Paul Codd. 2 points from play for Miss Jordan, and it's 110 to 6 points. Liam Cahill is being prepared across on the far side there for Tipperary. Could come in and play in the corner. Enright flicking it forward. Pressure here on Rory Mallon. Owen Kelly trying to torment him, trying to force him into the error. Kelly did well. Lar Corbett belting it across, stopped by David O'Connor, didn't know much about it. Hand passes it out here to Rory Mallon. He's led it behind once again. Corbett here, driven in towards Declan Ryan, but it's the other Ryan, Dara, who gets there first and the second time. That should lift his team towards Larry Murphy. Paul Kelly was after him. Larry Murphy, typical burst through the centre. In support is Derek Coleman, shouldered there by Costello. Enright way back there helping out. Philip Marr, the Tipperary fullback. Enright contesting and winning. Good support play here. That was Mitch Jordan. Dropped in towards Larry Murphy. Again, it's won by Tipperary's fullback, and Philip Marr with a sweeping clearance away downfield, lifting the team, lifting the crowd. Lar Corbett, well, he was stumbling. He was fouled as well, and the foul was by Declan Root. And it's a free in for Tip.
There's a buzz about the Tipperary forward, and because they can see Liam Cahill warming up, and like, you know, he's probably going to come on for Brian O'Mara. Hasn't been having a fantastic game, and I'd say he's feeling that he could be the one to go.
He is indeed. Number 12 raised there by the fourth official. So Brian O'Mara, who scored a point already, replaced here by Liam Cahill.
O'Mara probably has been the top player this year for Tip up front, but there's no sentiment in this game.
Now, what a substitution to be able to make. His score may have dipped a little bit in recent seasons, but he had a great campaign a couple of years back. Owen Kelly striking the free, and he's put it wide and let off for Wexford.
Yes, for sure, Jared. That's a big let off, because that'll give them another, you know, give them an extra point up in front. Reports from training, Jerry, is that Liam Cahill is actually supposed to be flying in training.
Liam Cahill has been into left half forward. And there's a buzz from the Wexford fans now, because Martin Storey is warming up. Declan Ryan, Darragh Ryan for Wexford. Owen Kelly trying to get it in. Ryan, like a one-man defence there on occasions. David O'Connor. They say about him that he'll be the Wexford full-back of the future. Good shoulder charge. Eamon Corcoran going to set Declan Ryan up here, looking for support to come. It comes in the figure of Tommy Dunn. He can play anywhere. A natural scorer, a natural athlete, and a wonderful hurler.
That's a fantastic score, Gerard. A beautiful ball by Declan Ryan. Just a little hand flick out. Tommy Dunn was coming to the outside in support over the bar. That's as good a score as you get anywhere.
Declan Ryan, again, always looks so composed. Great vision and a great shot. Tip at their best there in that little cameo. David Kennedy. Owen Kelly racing after this one. And very good defensive work by Rory Mallon, getting a vital touch. But Tipperary's possession from the sideline. Well, they're bringing forward Eamon Corcoran to hit this one. As you can see, some subs been warmed up across on the far side. Martin Storey's number 24. Gary Lappin is there as well. He's already had a minute or two of the action. Corcoran stopped here by Adrian Fenlon. Back once again towards Declan Ryan, and Declan Ryan has put it wide. It was a very fine pass to set him up there from Liam Cahill. Couldn't quite make it. Martin Storey with a little slip of paper. He's come back one more time to assist the county. Can he now make a difference? Tommy Dunn. Pressure in here. Lar Corbett taking it fast. The first man, but not the second. And it was David O'Connor who got it across there, but it'll be a sideline ball.
Yeah, David O'Connor played very well there, Jared, to get that ball away. But if Tipperary ever get another goal here, Jared, then looks they're getting on top around the pitch. I think Wexford should go for broke.
Mickey Lambert is number 11. He's about to make way for Wexford. And Martin Storey will come in.
But your story will only be good if the ball is going in there. It's around, you see the Tipperary half-back line and midfielder completely on top. And they'll have to get ball into Story to have any effect.
Just listen to the cheer. There was plenty of speculation, a couple of denials as well. But he's there, he's in. Rory Mallon here, trying to beat Owen Kelly to it. Little push by Kelly. Free for Wexford. Martin Storey has been put in straight away into full forward on Philip Marr. Damien Fitzhenry sweeping this free down in towards the general direction of that inside forward line. Here's Larry O'Gorman. Wexford needs something, and he provides it!
Wexford needed that. Martin Storey coming on. Larry O'Gorman has gone up to midfield in the second half, and it's a fantastic goal. Now we're going to have a game, because Wexford will kind of roll on as much as they can. The crowd are going right behind them.
His first ever goal in championship hurling has come at a vital time. He took it over the head there of Paul Ormond and drove it mercilessly in past Brendan Cummins. A key moment in this game perhaps. Wexford back in business. Pressure once again here. Owen Kelly. Liam Cahill going low to pick this one up, and he has driven it wide. They've missed chances.
They sure have, Jaron. They could prove costly now, because there's only 5 points in this game, and if anyone is ever going to rally, it's going to be Wexford. This is going to test Tipperary's character.
Well, that was a beautiful goal. 12 wides for Tipperary at this stage. 6 for Wexford. Fitzhenry's puck out. Missed completely by Eddie Enright this time, but Paul Kelly is there to assist. Owen Kelly trying to take it up, but instead it's won back by Darren Stamp, now operating at wing back. Found it out here to Eddie Enright. Tip trying to hammer home their advantage. They need accuracy with these shots, and this is going to be very dispiriting for the fans and for the other playing colleagues when you see fellas hitting shots like that from huge distance and they fail to make the range. Tony Dempsey wants to make a point there to Larry Murphy. Perhaps there's another switch planned. But there's the goal scorer. Always plays with a bit of a swagger. He's always good for a joke or a laugh as well, Larry O'Gorman. Larry Murphy likewise, I have to say. And of course Martin Storey.
Storey, since he came on, has definitely lifted the Wexford fans. Wasn't much happening up to that. Then Larry O'Gorman busted through to get a fantastic score. So, you know, they might even go for broke again, Wexford, because they've nothing to lose.
The player receiving the attention is Ger Coleman. Came on as a substitute just before half-time. The stadium still taking shape. Still quite a lot of work to do on this near side. Well, there mustn't have been a blood injury. There's a damaged finger, I think it is. Nicky English worried, I think, even if his side are leading, and leading by 5 points. But it's early stages in the second half. David Kennedy getting a good stick on that. Lovely speed. Mark O'Leary, great solo. Can he finish with a point? This time the umpires have a good look at it and say yes. He's got a third. Fleet-footed Mark O'Leary there, taking a very good pass. Following the solo, he makes it 112 to 1-6.
Yeah, great run, Ger, as such, and he shortens the grip. Has a little look round, not to near him. Left on the run, left-handed over the bar.
Well, paradoxically, that goal by Wexford could reignite Tipperary once again. And here's Larry O'Gorman. Philip Maher is under this dropping ball. In comes Storey, out came the goal. Another goal. Rory McCarthy has got it. His first score in the match. Now it's 112 to 2-6. Wexford are clawing their way back in here. Philip Maher couldn't get it away. It came out to Rory McCarthy. 2 goals in 2 games here in Croke Park. Well, that's the big lift they've needed. And that's another boost for Tipperary, however. Great reply by Owen Kelly. Score for score. 4 points between the teams. Tip still leading.
Game is on a knife edge now, though, Ger, because Wexford looked dangerous every time the ball was in around the square.
Well, that's a total of 6 goals that they've scored here between the quarter-final and the semi-final, and we're only midway through the second half now. Well, every time Rory McCarthy scores a goal here, it seems it's a very memorable one. Lovely wrist work again.
Brendan Cummins won't be too happy with that, Ger. Like, he did scoop it out, but he won't be happy with himself.
That was Larry O'Gorman dropping it in there dangerously, and Rory McCarthy once again batting it in. That's Paul Ormond. He was fouled. It'll be a free out to Tipperary.
It's a hard tackle, Ger, but it's not a dirty match, and it's very well contested for 2 sporting teams, but he'll probably get a yellow card.
Paul Codd is the one who was going to get the card. Paul has scored 4 points so far in this match. So it's a yellow. So 2 yellow cards issued by the match referee, Paul O'Connor. John Carroll in the first half, but now Paul Codd. Team doctor still busy, tending to Paul Ormond. Brendan Cummins waiting for the signal from the referee to take this free. Declan Ruth beaten for it by John Carroll. Darragh Ryan scooping it away from danger initially. Touchdown by Eamon Corcoran. Tommy Dunn back in towards Owen Kelly once again. Rory Mallon trying to get that ball away. More support coming in here in the figure of David O'Connor, partly blocked by Lar Corbett. Tipperary still look threatening. Darren Stamp. And Paul Codd has come way up from the corner forward position in a switch in the Wexford team. Eamon Corcoran. Well, the stalemate situation ends here with Adrian Fenlon letting it on there towards Rory McCarthy. Tomas Costello down on his hands and knees. And the linesman adamant it's going to be a Wexford ball. Tipperary are protesting. And Ger Devlin from Armagh had absolutely no doubt in his mind. As Wexford fans now will be hoping to see Adrian Fenlon point this one from the sideline. It's gone well away to the right. Larry O'Gorman chased by Eddie Enright. Out as far as Adrian Fenlon. They're taking the tourist trail towards goal, but in the end they finish with a point, and it's Adrian Fenlon from the Rapparees who gets his first of the day. And they're a little happier.
Yeah, John, it's very noticeable Larry O'Gorman in midfield in the second half. Himself and Finland have upped the tempo, and they are getting on top. Eddie Enright isn't as dominant as he was in the first half.
Tipperary are about to make a change. A captain the last time the teams met is in for Tipperary, and that is Paul Kelly, who's going off, and Conor Gleeson is coming on. You saw during the half-time break John Lahey's goal the last time the teams met in the semi-final. It was Gleeson who got the other score, another goal, and they won by 2 goals and a point. Oh, it hits the bar and comes back down again. The post is struck there by Eamon Corcoran. Darragh Ryan. Wexford managed to get it away. Everybody missing it initially. Tommy Dunn. Again it's Darragh Ryan, but this time he's unchallenged up to that point there. Here they come again. Larry O'Gorman. 65 metres out and a little more, but he's put the ball wide. But where the wides are concerned so far in this match for Wexford, they have a total of 7. That was where the post was struck just a moment ago by Eamon Corcoran. Brendan Cummins. Declan Ruth beaten by John Carroll. Liam Dunn just getting it away as far as Larry Murphy. Mitch Jordan. And this is another good shot, and that's over the bar. A wonderful fight back by Wexford. 3 points now for Mitch Jordan. But to gee up his colleagues, they've come within 2 points of Tipperary. They're playing with their usual passion to get themselves back. They needed that.
Yeah, Jordan, they're right back in the game.
For all that has to be said, the Tipperary have looked like winners from a long way back. But their confidence is bound to be shaken here now. Tommy Dunn is tripped, and that's going to be a free.
Yeah, it could be a costly free, Joe, because they'll probably tap it over there and give them a 3-point gap again.
People who know the game said that it was going to be a very tight contest. That's the way it's shaping up. There's a play anywhere player, Larry O'Gorman, really be better known at left half back, but he can pop up into the forwards as well, as Tommy Dunn from Tulmivara needs the attention. Dunn is another player, Cyril, who you can play just about in any position. He was being played full forward as well.
Yeah, he can play anywhere as well, Jerry, at the moment. Declan Ruth's gone in centre back on top of John Carroll, and Liam Dunn has gone wing back on Liam Cahill.
So lots of changes being made by Tony Dempsey, trying to just freshen things up a little bit. Present Tipperary with different types of challenges. Almost 58 minutes gone in this game. Owen Kelly striking this free and putting it over the bar. He's done well. That's 5 points in all his contribution, and Tip once again have a 3-point lead.
It's a dangerous lead in hurling.
Damien Fitzhenry. Huge one downfield. Larry O'Gorman looking at it. Martin Storey. Well, there would have been a big cheer had that one gone over. The cheers instead, I think, are from the Tipperary fans. Relieved that they didn't let Wexford back within 2 points. Over the head of John Carroll this time. Liam Dunn can't take it away. Liam Carroll pressurising, and in the end the shot coming in here and the ball going over the bar, and once again it's this man here who's done the business, Mark O'Leary. Total of 4 points now by the right half forward.
Yeah, Jerry, what makes him so hard to mark, he's very good on the run, and he has left and right, both sides. Any young fella should look at him because he can strike on both sides.
Very much a rearranged Tipperary half-forward line. Mark O'Leary, the only one still in the position in which we expected him to be. The changes have worked. David O'Connor. Oh, Declan Roof couldn't take it. Lark Corbett was trying to come on to it. Instead, it's Liam Dunn. Adrian Fenlon. Good run by Storey if he can keep the ball in play. Philip Marr. Both players protesting that it should go their way, but it's going to be Wexford who will get the line ball. Once again, Adrian Fenlon yet to point, one from a sideline. Scored a very nice point not too long ago from play. Low inside this time towards Martin Storey. Corcoran trying to get it out. Ably assisted by Conor Gleeson. Liam Dunn can't take it. He's on the ground. Instead it's Declan Roof. Back in there, dangerous ball. And the player down injured is Tomas Costello, the number 14, injured as well for Wexford, Larry Murphy. They were all eyes on the ball as that was dropping in there. Clash of bodies. Costello, a young player from Kappa White, just playing in his third championship match today.
Yeah, Jerry, well, that's going on as well, even though they're injured. Liam Dunn is stretchered as well. Like, he was going hard for ball, got to it, was definitely got into a tackle. You won't see it here now.
Well, that's the injury we noted just in front of the Wexford goal. I noticed that Ken Furlong is being prepared for Wexford just in case. Played, of course, against Limerick in that remarkable victory here 2 weeks ago. Liam Dunn from Oulart the Bala.
It's hard to keep this lad down. He's small, but he's made of steel. He'll bounce back up and he'll play on. Helmet off. He'll just tear into it harder, Jerry, from now on.
One of the stars of their victory here, of course, in '96. Following that, he broke a leg. Very, very serious injury. But he's come back. A real brave heart. Brendan Cummins with the free. Everybody back in business once again. Declan Roof. Tip look menacing. Lark Corbett trying to get it across towards Tommy Dunn. Beaten to it by Darren Stamp of Wexford. Good play. Chased all the way by Lark Corbett. Not a good pass. Taken back here by Costello. Liam Dunn under this dropping ball, but 2 or 3 others around as well. Just gets that vital touch to it. Here comes O'Leary once again, and this time is put it wide, but he was under a lot of pressure there from Wexford's Ger Colban.
Yeah, Ger just got a hook in just as well, because if he didn't, O'Leary'd have another pint cut.
Well, about 7.5 minutes of normal time remaining, plus I imagine about another 2 to 3 minutes of injury time. Nicky English preparing to make changes, it seems. And it'll be Eugene O'Neill who'll come in, and the player going off will be Lar Corbett. Another fine player to be able to bring into your team. And Nicky English, I think, saying during the week that even if players were having pretty good games, he was still going to freshen things up towards the end of the match. That's how he's opting to use the 5 substitute rule. Philip Marr. Beyond Mark O'Leary this time. Back by Declan Ruth. Conor Gleeson can't hold on to it. They try to get it past Adrian Fenlon, who seemed to have an injury. David Kennedy. I think Fenlon has a hand injury. Here comes Declan Ruth. A real worry for the last 2 matches because of hamstring problems. Ger Coleman. They don't really make much headway. Instead it's Eamon Corcoran for Tipperary. Here comes Owen Kelly. Well, I think whoever gets through to the final at the beginning of September will feel there's room for improvement. But Tipperary are doing really nicely, and Tommy Dunn has got a second point, and their fans are much the happier.
That's a great score again, just a flick of the wrist. Tommy Dunn is having a very good game. Hadn't a great campaign up to this year as such, but today's he's even his stamp on the game.
Well, Ger Coleman is being withdrawn from the Wexford team. Just to see who came in. Is it Gary Lappin?
Yeah, Ger, that's what will happen. Lappin will probably come in, go in full forward, and Martin Story come out centre forward. The two of them much prefer that. Story will be more effective centre. He'll do a lot of running and hustling and hassling, whereas Lappin is dangerous on the square.
Well, he's in there, supported by Mitch Jordan on his left and Rory McCarthy on the right. Can they make a difference in the time remaining?
This is just cramp here, Ger. If he doesn't soon get better, the ref will just have time to get off.
It's Owen Kelly. More of the subs hoping that they'll get a chance to taste some of the action here. Tipperary still leading this match. This is towards Adrian Fenlon, got a vital touch on it. But once again, it's Eamon Corcoran has had a very good match on that half-back line for Tipperary. Rory Mallon stumbling. Getting some good assistance. Declan Ruth out to Darren Stamp. They lob it into that inside forward line. They need scores. Oh, they've got another one! And it's Larry O'Gorman again. Can you believe it?
He's getting 2 goals. They're turning out to be these 2-goal heroes as such. The last game they played was David Fitzhenry. Now it's Larry O'Gorman from midfield. The ball broke down. Tipperary are fully sure within high balls as such. Back of the net. Nothing Brendan Cummins could do about that.
Absolutely nothing, but he got a very, very crucial stick to this one when it came down. In past Brendan Cummins, who'll be disappointed. Beaten now for the 3rd time in this Guinness semi-final. At the other end, Darragh Ryan's under pressure. And the foul is committed. Damien Fitzhenry.
This is going to test Tip again, Joe, because like they are giving away goals. 17 points, 19, only 2 points in it, and it's a terrible dangerous leader with Wexford's tradition for goals. Anything can happen.
They're going for more. That time it's out by Kennedy. Larry Murphy playing it back to Fenlon. A point here will put just one between them. What an amazing comeback. A very plucky and skillful performance. 116 to 3-9. Still time to go.
There's a pep in the Wexford step at the moment. Larry O'Gorman is getting on to everyone. Liam Dunn, they're all starting to shout. This is really going to test Tip.
3 minutes of normal time to go, and another maybe 2 to 3 minutes of injury time. Gary Lappin across to Mitch Jordan. Past David Kennedy, looking to put this over the bar. He's put it wide. It was a chance.
Tipperary fans has breathed a sigh of relief. They have to get this ball through. They have to start winning and getting through to full forward line. All of a sudden, the momentum has gone Wexford's way.
They're 1 point behind, where at half-time they were behind by 7. Those goals have been crucial. The last day and again today. Could it end level yet? That's out by Larry O'Gorman. Conor Gleeson. An extra 4 minutes will be played, we've been instructed here. David O'Connor growing in stature throughout this championship to Rory Mallon. It was a gamble the selectors took, bringing in 5 under-21s. It's worked. The old hands are there as well. Speaking of hands, good catch by Philip Marr. Up towards Eddie Enright. Had a very good first half. Larry O'Gorman now. Liam Cahill was there as well. So too Larry Murphy. Firing it forward is Liam Dunn. It's turned out to be a very compelling semi-final. The second to come next Sunday, of course. Galway versus the All-Ireland champions Kilkenny. More pressure on the backs. Good catch this time by Paul Ormond. Getting that ball away to Eamon Corcoran. A nervous, edgy finish by both teams. Tip trying to hang on. Wexford trying to get back. Dara Ryan. 2 men after him. He's fouled. It's a free downfield. Free to Wexford.
Now Ryan's a fine, strong man. Maybe the knees a bit against him today, but he's still having a very solid game.
1 minute of normal time still to play. 4 minutes of injury time, so another 5 minutes to resolve the semi-final.
Yeah, Jaron, this free, Fitzhenry's going to put this in around the house.
Not even fancy his chances of putting it over the bar from there. Such is the confidence of the goalkeeper. But he's put it wide, and Tony Dempsey, you can see, is not very pleased. I'm looking at him down on the near sideline. He really would have wished Fitzhenry to drop it into the square. Paddy O'Brien is going to come on to the Tipperary team in a moment. Tony Dempsey realising that the 70 minutes almost up. Owen Kelly will be going off.
That's right, sir, because Owen Kelly did pull had a calf strain a while ago and wasn't able to get going, so it's a good move, I'd say.
So we've now seen Lark Corbett, Owen Kelly, Brian O'Mara all replaced. Here's John Carroll. Started the goal scoring this afternoon, but Wexford have been finishing it, and that's Liam Dunn. Way down there, off Gary Laughlin's stick, held by Rory McCarthy, turning beautifully, putting it high, he's put it wide. He's put it wide.
Oh, that's a bad miss. He had plenty, he had more time than he thought. The ball got back out, and it should have been a score there.
Still Tipperary leading by 1 point. Brendan Cummins' goal under siege.
Everyone at this stage, Ger, is living on their nerves.
Huge puck out again. Up towards John Carroll, route 1. Stopped by Declan Ruth. Larry Murphy racing for this one with Conor Gleeson. Conor getting the touch to it. Back to Liam Dunn, however. Now operating at right half back for Wexford. Towards Adrian Fenlon. In fact, it's Larry O'Gorman. Up towards Rory McCarthy. Breaks back down towards Martin Story. Almost collided with his own man, Paul Codd. Tipperary trying to get the ball out. David Kennedy is the number 6 there. And the referee will surely throw the ball in.
No time for hanging around now as such, Ger, like this. Everything is putting in boots, heads, the whole lot.
Remember, we will be playing up to the 74th minute. That was the indication from the 4th official. 1 point the margin.
It's a place now for everyone just to keep hold their head and keep whatever team keeps hurling and probably winning now, Ger. Not to panic.
Tipperary have a free. The important thing now is to get the ball up to the other end of the field from their point of view and try and get a score. Eamon Corcoran will take the free. He's taken most of the long-range frees this afternoon for the Premier men. Lobbing it into the forwards. Paddy O'Brien was after it, but it's Larry O'Gorman who gets it. Can't get it up onto his stick the first time, succeeds at the second attempt. Belted way down towards Mitch Jordan. Coming across here is Eamon Corcoran. What a finish. Paul Codd. Back here, Mitch Jordan. Is that accurate? It is! It's over the bar! The teams are level!
That's a fantastic score under pressure.
Level now for the 6th time. Mitch Jordan getting his 4th point. Is there to be a winner? Does anybody deserve to lose this? Tipperary showed us great flair, great style, wonderful scores as well. But what about the comeback of Wexford? Still a few minutes left. Here's Eddie Enright. Is there a late winner? It's coming here towards Paddy O'Brien. Liam Cahill trying to balance it. Looking for support. He was trying to link up with Mark O'Leary. Over 1 minute still to play. Out it comes to Tommy Dunn. Blocked down brilliantly. That was a great block down. It was Paul Codd who came all the way back. A real hero's work, and the referee has blown his whistle. The players are continuing. He played into the 4th minute but didn't quite play 4 minutes. The players have now got the signal that they'll have to go through it all again. It's a draw here in the first of the Guinness hurling semi-finals. Players exchanging shirts. Well, what about the comeback? What a game. What great hurling.
Hurling needed that game, Ger, as such. He played a couple of minutes second short, but no one will mind that at all. A draw is a very fair result, and you'd have to, like, Tip set the tempo early on, look to be in cruise control, and like you'd have to admire Wexford. Their heart, their spirit came back with the goals, and you know the likes of Story and Larry O'Gorman, these guys, unreal.
This was Mitch Jordan. That was the equaliser. The referee played about 3 minutes and 15 or so seconds. He doesn't have to play all 4 minutes because the board over there says it will go to as much as 4 minutes. And Martin Story, who came back, Larry O'Gorman, the 2-goal hero. What an afternoon for him to get his first 2 ever goals in the championship. It was a thriller. And straight away they're in for the interviews. Brian Carty there linking up with Brendan Cummins. Beaten in front of an attendance of 50,000 here this afternoon. He was beaten a few times, 3 goals in all flying past him, but there was no loser here. Hurling was the winner, and we saw a very, very gutsy performance from both teams, and it finishes with 19 points apiece. The final score here, it's Wexford 3 goals and 10 points. Tipperary 1 goal and 16. Marvellous entertainment. Full credit to both teams. And now we'll be awaiting the details of the replay. I wonder will it be on Saturday next. Meanwhile, let's go down and get some reaction and draw our breaths. Go down to our reporter, who was Darragh Maloney.
Thank you, Chair. With me, the Tipperary manager, Nicky English. Nicky, how do you feel after that?
Just heard when the replays next Saturday. I think in the end, Wexford showed tremendous spirit and heart. You know, I think, you know, they probably got a couple of goals that we wouldn't have liked to concede, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, we'll be all back here on Saturday, you know.
Looked very good for you for a long time there.
Yeah, I thought in the early part of the second half we missed chances, to be honest with you, that we should have scored. And then Wexford got their, you know, their tremendous support here today. Absolutely fantastic crowd from Wexford. And when they got behind them, you know, they really dug in and they showed tremendous spirit. So we're delighted to get a draw, to be honest, in the end.
Nicky, thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Let's bring in the 2-goal hero, Larry O'Gorman. Larry, what does that feel like? You looked really dead and buried for a long time.
Absolutely. I think at half-time we sort of told ourselves we're either going to give it 35 or 37 minutes, whatever it takes, to just do it for one another. A lot of people had to run us down to the ground before the Limerick game, and maybe after thought it was just a flash in the pan. But today we showed we have guts and a heart. Okay, it might have been the greatest game of all, but still we're there, and we're there again for the replay, so hopefully we can pull it out of fire this time. Thanks very much. Thanks a million.
It was some finish, so next Saturday confirmed. And what a goal hero, Larry O'Gorman. 2 goals this afternoon, and Wexford get another chance. So do Tip. Let's go back to Mike.
Ger Kelling, thank you very much indeed. So is there no end to it at all? We'll have to buy a camp and just set up shop here altogether, I think. What a fantastic second half, gentlemen.
Brilliant, absolutely. You couldn't see at half-time where Wexford were going to resurrect this game from, but they turned around in the second half, and Larry O'Gorman, he's moved to midfield, up into the forwards. He lifted the game, and as he said himself, give 37 minutes and you lose by 20 points, or you pull it back out of the fire, and that's what they did. It was brilliant, absolutely.
Thomas? Yeah, it was fantastic, and great credit to Wexford. I mean, we kind of said at half-time that the game wasn't as good as over because Tip were hurling so well in that first half period, and they knuckled down. Darragh Ryan at full-back gave a tremendous performance in the second half, and he drove his team on from the full-back position. It seemed to help the guys outside him as well, and they were driving forward on waves, and they certainly put an awful lot of pressure on the Tipperary backs. Tip would be disappointed with their second half display. The likes of Declan Ryan never really got into the game in the second half. John Carr certainly went out of the game, so the emphasis was back on the Wexford team, but you must give him great credit, great heart. Larry O'Gorman said it, heart, guts, determination. they're the kind of key concepts that we're winning a game outside there, and it's back again for next Saturday for the replay.
Well, we saw one man make an appearance in the second half there, and I suppose just him coming on the field was an inspiration as well to Wexford. Martin Story, captain of the team in 1996, of course. He's with Dara now.
Martin, good to be back.
Great to be back. Feel the atmosphere out there. Didn't realise I had missed as much until I got back in there today. It's unreal. The Wexford support is unreal. We got it out of the fire. I mean, we got the scores at the right times. We got back in, we got a draw and a chance to fight again. So we're back in it now.
What was it like when you came on? The roar from the Wexford people around here was amazing when you entered the field.
Make the hair stand in the back of your neck of what it was. Absolutely, reminded me in 96, absolutely brilliant. Enjoyed every second of it out there. It's a pity I couldn't get the ball.
2 quick goals just after you came on, it lifted the team.
Yeah, I mean, we started moving the ball fast and in around the square, and we got 2. Larry Gorman got onto the 2 of them, playing middle of the field and wing back. Brilliant and all, great performance from Larry.
What about the heart that the team showed? Because you really looked out of it.
Well, that's it. I mean, whoever said that the Wexford spirit and that is gone, there's something wrong with them. Wexford have never ever failed to fight for a win or fight for a draw. And I mean, it was evident out there. All the young lads under 21s that fought their heart out. Darren Stamp, Doc O'Connor, Rory Mallon, every single one of them fought their hearts out.
Do you think you've done enough for a start the next day?
Surely haven't, but I mean, I'd love to start the next day, but I haven't a chance in hell. But I mean, I'm just dead happy to be part of it. Thank you. Thanks.
That was Martin's Story there. One aspect that we have to look at in this game, gentlemen, is nobody will mind having another look at this again next Saturday, but the referee blew the game up 45 seconds before the official time.
Yeah, and the indications are for the referee that when he nominates that there is 4 minutes to be played of extra time, he has to go that full distance, and he didn't certainly do it today. And the momentum was with Wexford at that stage. They were the guy that were gathering the points and scoring the points, and God knows if the ball had been poked out or come out into the middle of the park, that Wexford would have got a winner. And certainly you have to have a question mark over the referee's decision on that stage.
Yeah, this is the whole point, Pete. I mean, he must play the minimum time. He can play more than the 4 minutes if he wants to, but he must play the minimum.
Yeah, he can play 6 or 7 minutes if it's 4 minutes if he thinks there's breaks in between, but he has to play the 4 minutes, and he didn't do it. And to be fair, Pat O'Connor hadn't one of his better games out there today. It was tough, it was hard, but there was a lot of very dangerous tackles that went waved on. There should have been yellow cards flashed out there, because at times it was more than dangerous, and there was a few players that were probably lucky that they weren't put into the book and cautioned earlier on.
OK, let's look at some of the scores that will certainly have gladdened Wexford hearts in that second half. Larry O'Gorman, what a storming performance.
Yes, I mean, he's certainly shown he's a man for the big occasion, and so many times in the past he's come to a Wexford recovery, and again today runs onto a great ball, great first touch, and second touch is even better, and what a shot. Doesn't give Brendan Cummins in the Tipperary goal a chance, and that's a great score to lift your team. And when your half forward is coming forward like that, it gives great confidence and great confidence in his own ability, but to the rest of the team as well, and it lifted the whole team around him. And it was kind of coincidental that it was Martin Story had just come on the field maybe 30 or 40 seconds before that, and there's a great roar from the crowd, and then suddenly to get a goal, it certainly puts the match in your favour then at that stage.
Okay.
Yeah, they seem to get their goals at the right time as well. Yeah. It just looked, Tipperary had missed, we'll say, 3 or 4 good scoring opportunities down here in front of goals for points, and it just looked as if the goal or the game was beginning to peter out, and Tipperary go on and win easily. Next thing, the Story came on, the goal came. The next thing, there was another goal, then a few points, and Wexford lifted. And it was Dara. You're right, Tomas. It was Dara Ryan from fullback. He was inspirational again today, and he lifted everything out in front of him. He completely blotted out Declan Ryan in the second half. They never got a shot at goal, and they got 3 in the first half.
Pete, we have the Wexford manager Tony Dempsey standing by. Let's hear from him.
Tony, what did you say to your players at half-time? Whatever it was, it worked.
I don't think some of it mightn't be repeatable out here, you know, Darren. So, but they're a great bunch of players. They're full of heart, and irrespective of the result today, you know, I still think they've done an awful lot for Wexford hurling. Tipperary are an excellent team, an exceptional team. And again, we had to get the breaks to come back, but they got a few breaks in the first half, and I know Nicky would say that too. And Nicky has them very, very well prepared. So, you know, one never knows how it's going to go. We played today for our brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and people who came from afar to see us, and even some people who are not around, people who have passed on, you know, but meant something personally to me and personally to the players. You know, I gave a little oration at a gravesite in Davidstown, my home parish there recently, and I was asking Betty Duggan to keep an eye on me, and my mum, and I think they must have been around there for the last few scores. You know, I'm sure if they were surely watching, and they surely enjoyed it.
Tony, can we go back to the first half? Were you disappointed with the way you played? It didn't really work for you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it looked like a bit like the Kilkenny nightmare. We weren't converting. We were winning a lot of possession, and I'm looking forward to the Sunday game tonight to see what the statistics are. But we were winning a lot of possession, you know, and that's always disappointing. But then one has to give credit to the Tipperary defence. They're a very, very good defence. And we worked on trying to beat them maybe in a way that they hadn't been beaten before. And we you know, we got a few breaks here and there, and it happened for us today, you know. So we're very, very happy. Maybe we could have stolen it. I don't think it would have been fair had we. And a draw is a very good result, and I would have settled for a draw at half-time. But, you know, I think we could have. I didn't see the last free. That Tip got there. I'm not sure what it was for. But it was a break and play when we were on top, and I'm sure the free was okay. I just didn't see it. And I remember just feeling, oh, God, this is not free at this time, because I think if we had got the ball at that stage, we were going, you know, for the winner. And if we got the equaliser a few seconds earlier, I think we might have pulled it off. But I want to say, it would have been grand larceny. Tipperary are a very, very good team, played very, very well. And, you know, we have a mighty battle again. They'll be deservedly favourites next Saturday, and it will be a mighty battle again.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tony Dempsey, very honest and very fair in his comments and in his assessment of the match. He said he'd like to have a look at the statistics later on tonight. Well, here they are for you right now, and there's the score first of all. Beyond that, 8 frees to Wexford, 14 frees to Tipperary, 12 wides against 14, and just 2 yellow cards issued in the game. As just, Pete said, it was a tough, hard game, but a very sporting one as well, it must be said. Let's come back to the scores and let's come back to the play. We saw Larry's goal a minute ago. They got the goals at the right time, Pete, and they needed the goals at the right time, and then they got another one.
They did. They needed the goals, and that was the only thing that was going to bring them back into the game. They weren't playing well enough to score enough points to get back into it. And here we see the second goal. Again, a breaking ball around the square, pops up, and Mitch Jordan is the one that finished. No, it was Rory McCarthy that finished it to the back of the net. Yeah. It's an opportunist goal, like he scored against Limerick in the first half. And those were the goals that gave them the lift, and the crowd lifted. And in fairness to Wexford people, there was 2 people from Wexford to every 1 Tipperary person here today that had them completely outnumbered. And once they got the momentum going, Tipperary owned the ball for the first 10 minutes of the second half, and you'll get a stage in a match where you'll own possession. It's what you do in that period that's going to determine the outcome. And when Wexford got their tails up, Larry O'Gorman was flying, they got the rub of the green with the goals, they got the opportunity of a few points, and they took everything. We spoke about the triangle that Tipperary had in the first half, and how they owned everything, the half-back line, midfield, half-forward line. They made a few changes to Wexford, but Declan Ruth in centre-back. He snuffed out Carroll. They brought Larry O'Gorman out to midfield. Adrian Finlan appeared out of nowhere again and started hurling. And suddenly, Tipperary were struggling in the diamond. But it was a great turnaround. I'm looking forward to next Saturday again.
Well, Adrian Finlan had a storming second half there, and Larry O'Gorman, that move of bringing Larry more central into the play, it proved the dividends again to us when he got his second goal.
Yes, and Pete was right. I mean, around the middle of the park, they certainly dominated in the closing stages, and Adrian Finlan had a great game. Again, we see the ball. It's a high ball inside. Again, the Tipperary defence will be disappointed with this, but I mean, it's great credit to Larry O'Gorman following up the play, right? As this ball breaks, it's a kind of a one-handed swing and gets his touch with it, and it's into the back of the net. But it's great play and great instinct by Larry. As soon as the ball has gone forward, he's a fierce ambition to drive forward with the ball as well, and he's watching the breaking ball at the time. One worry, I suppose, for Wexford was that throughout the game, they still had only 1 forward that scored from play, and that was Michael Jordan. He got 4 points from play. The rest of the forwards didn't contribute on the scoreline. So that, I mean,
except for Rory McCarthy.
Rory McCarthy got the goal, exactly, right?
Yeah.
From a point perspective, that will be, they need to work on the game a bit more. They got opportunities to maybe take a few points in the first half that they hit wide, and if they'd taken those scores, they wouldn't have been as far down as half-time, and they'd a mountain trying to climb at that stage, and they needed the goals to get them back into the game.
They did, and in fairness, Pete, I mean, you couldn't normally see Brendan Cummins being beaten 3 times in a half.
No, it's a rare thing to see Brendan Cummins or Damien Fitzhenry beaten 3 times in any championship. Brendan is a great goalkeeper, but when the ball was hanging around the square, Wexford did the right thing, pull, like what Carroll did in the first half. And it's bouncing around, get the ball, goalward bound, ask the goalkeeper to make the save. Yeah. Tipperary have a problem in the sense that they can't score goals that easily. And they struggled again in the second half. They never got a shot on goal. Once Darragh Ryan got to tabs with Declan Ryan, there was no sign of a goal coming for Tipperary.
Yeah, it was... I think Brian Cody is, or has been at the match down there. Yes, there he is. Brian Cody, the Kilkenny manager. They'll have their big day out, of course, next Sunday against Galway. I'm sure he's not quite thinking yet who they're going to meet in the All-Ireland final. He certainly doesn't know if they overcome Galway. That is, of course, Pete.
Yeah, it's an advantage to whoever wins this game to get another big day in Croke Park. And we'll say Wexford go on and win it. They're going to be in great shape in an All-Ireland final. Now, I personally would like to see an All-Ireland final with two different provinces in it, whether it's Galway and Wexford, or whether it's Wexford and Kilkenny, or Tipperary and Kilkenny. But they're going to be in great shape after another tough game. They're going because Tipperary need all the games they can get. They've only had 2 games this year. It'll be Wexford's 5th game next Saturday, and if they come out of that, there'll be a fair tough opposition in an All-Ireland final.
And yet, though, if you're to follow the logic of that, Tomas, then Tip should have been getting better as the game went on, as they were sort of getting into the flow. But in actual fact, they started very well. They were more impressive in the first half.
They were, and I think Nicky made a crucial point there just after the game. They had 4 or 5 chances just after half-time to stretch the lead from 7 maybe to 8 or 9 points, and they failed to take those opportunities. And like Pete says, they rarely threatened the goal, which will probably be a worry for him, for Nicky as well, right? I mean, that the likes of Declan Ryan was snuffed out so easy. Owen Kelly in the second half was kind of anonymous, and Lark Corbett in the same. Their inside forward line, that was causing so much trouble in the first half, were disappearing in the second half period. Again, I suppose we've looked at the football side of Michael, and the provincial winners had it very difficult when they came out of their provincial championship. Their next game was very, very important. Like Meath survived against Westmeath. 2 provincial winners lost in the football side of it.
Yes.
Tipperary had a long break now since their Munster final. This game will do the world of good for Tipperary as well. It's going to bring them on a ton as well. So, I mean, it's everything to play for. I mean, we're talking about backdoor systems. The more matches that a team gets, it's better than any training session. The more competitive game. You see how good guys are. Throwing guys into the deep end is the best way to see how a guy is going to perform on a big match day. And today was something similar to that. And I'm sure Tipperary will have learned an awful lot from today. They were lucky at the end that they didn't actually lose the match.
So, Pete, who's going to win the replay?
Why do you ask me these questions? Galway. It's hard to say. Wexford will take great heart out of going out of Croke Park this afternoon. They'll be delighted to be coming back here again next Saturday. They'll have learned a lot. They'll have learned one thing for sure, that you can't let any team go that far ahead and try and pull it back. They'll have to get into the game better in the forward division. They're struggling up front to get easy scores. They should be tapping over the bar. Tipperary, I think 8 or 9 players scored. Only 1 player scored from play from Wexford. They'll have to change that statistic. Where they're going to play Larry O'Gorman the next day, I don't know, whether to play him wing forward or full forward. But it's all to play for. I'd say Tipperary will improve more than Wexford will. I'm going to be slated down the south again, but I think Tipper will improve more, and they'll beat them the next day.
All right, gentlemen, there we must leave it. Tomas Mulcahy, Pete Finnerty, thank you very much for your thoughts. We must leave you then from Croke Park. Before we do, a little bit of a reminder about the programme later on and some aspects of the later programme. Our email address is on screen for you there, ga@rte.ie, if you want to contact the Sunday game about today's match, or indeed about anything else that crosses your mind as well. On the bottom of the page there is our website, www.rte.ie/GAA, if you want to visit us there. Now, also part of our Night Time programme, of course, is our weekly competition, a chance for you to win 2 Sony PlayStations, and also there are some games going along with that. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the competition at this stage, so check that out tonight as well. Now, this is the programme tonight. It's Tip versus Wexford. Also look at the minor match from earlier on today. And that programme is at 9 o'clock tonight on Network 2, and I hope you can join us for that. And we'll have